Tererai Trent grew up in this remote village in Zimbabwe. She was raised in a hut with no running water or electricity and little hope for the future. She traveled back here to tell us her remarkable story.
They're saying work hard, work hard. Now we welcome Tererai. She has worked hard.
It was a homecoming for an unlikely hero. To these women, Tererai Trent has become a symbol of hope.
In my village, girls have no hopes. Only boys have the opportunity to go to school. This is where my brother went to school, and this is the place that I have always wanted to be when I was young. And I would always cry and say, Papa, why don't you just allow me to go just for one day? I just wanted to sit on a desk and, raise my hand and say something. As a little girl, I was desperate to learn. I was secretly doing my brother's homework, and I learned to read and write from my brother's books. This used to be my desk for doing my brother's homework.
Eventually, a teacher discovered their secret and begged Tererai's father to let her come to school. But after only 2 terms, Tererai was married off. She was just 11 years old. And by the time she was 18, she was already a mother of 3.
When my husband realized that I wanted to have an education, he would beat me. I have nightmares of that time of my life.
In 1991, a woman from an organization called Heifer International visited Tererai's village.
She started asking us what our hopes and what our dreams. And I remember very clearly saying, my name is Tererai, and I want to go to America to have an education. And she just looked at me. If you desire those things, it is achievable. Then my mother said, write those dreams down on paper and bury them. And if you truly believe in those dreams, then you'll see them grow and grow and grow. Cover those dreams with a rock, because that rock will always call you wherever you are in the world.
Tererai wrote down her dreams that day, placed them in a scrap of tin, and buried them under a rock.
It was like I had my own secret, and the rock was keeping my secret for me, and it did over the years. There it is. My mother said, you are the last person to break this vicious cycle of poverty, and I want you to do that. And I did it.
She did break the cycle of poverty, but listen to this. Tererai's first dream that she wrote and buried under that rock was to come to the U.S. She did that. She moved to the United States in